Nightly news today. This is Dale Night, April 3rd, 2014. Mass faintings. This is one fucked up story. The Christian Science Monitor reported this story. We'll read through some key points out of the article that I read through, and it's really fucking one of those stories that flies under the radar a lot about horrible working conditions for people who make hardly any money at all. And who you're looking at here is a garment worker recovers at a hospital after fainting at a factory on April 3rd. Scores of garment workers have fallen sick this week at factories in Cambodia, including two that produce clothing for sportswear giants Puma and Adidas. Police and workers said on the day of these mass faintings. It goes on to say this woman, 30 years old, hooked up to an intravenous drip at a hospital in the capital, described the symptoms and says she did not know the cause but suspected it may have been food poisoning. Labor rights group Community Legal Education Center said that more than 200 workers fainted in 1 week. 200. Now, how the fuck could that happen? Well, as we read on, both Puma and Adidas said that they were closely monitoring the situation while investigations were underway and affected staff had received medical treatment. Puma said its representatives had met with police and workers, and samples of food from the canteen had been sent for the laboratory analysis to determine whether the cause of the sickness was food poisoning. But here's the fucked up part. This is the gray area. Mass faintings are all too familiar in Cambodia, which has become an important manufacturing center for many high-fashion brands. Garment makers have often complained of poor ventilation, strong chemicals, and use of potent glue for footwear, although official investigations in recent years have been largely inconclusive. And there's that fucking gray area there. You really can't tell with these guys whether it's food poisoning or it's just the conditions they're working in, which are all fucked up. There were more than 1,000 faintings reported in 2011 alone in factories that were mostly owned by Chinese, Taiwanese, and South Koreans. Most workers earn less than $100 per month, and many volunteer for overtime to boost their income. Now, all that says here is that as we take a look at this poor person sitting here with the intravenous drip going on, they're working for a very, very small wage. And all the owners have to do is just say, if someone gets sick, it's food poisoning. I mean, these people are nothing more than animals to the people who own these big corporations, and they take these companies and corporations and manufacturing plants and factories and all kinds of shit. They take them to these third world countries for a reason. These people need jobs. They will work 24 hours a day if they have to, and they work through some very, very harsh fucking conditions, and they're being taken advantage of. That being said, it's a story that goes under the radar all the time. This happens all the time. Just thought it was an interesting story. There's really nothing you can do about it. As long as people need to work, people are going to get fucked over by rich fucking assholes who have no idea what it's like to work in those conditions. And if we're put in the same situation, I'm sure they would die of exhaustion within the fucking first hour of having to work through that shit. That's my take on it. Mass faintings.